two, 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. I'm just Lord help me believe. Show me the sun. Yesterday gone. Teach me one day at a time. One day at a time, sweet Jesus. That all I'm asking of you. Lord help me. Welcome, Josh. Okay. All right. What a beautiful day. What a beautiful time. Beautiful hours. Thank God for today. Thank God for everything. Thank God for our life. At least we can still be counted among the living. And we are still around, still doing what we try to do on our spare time. Yeah, share this video. Let us talk. This is Keshen, aka The General. And let me see what's going on here. Oh, I don't know how they came all the way this far. All right, I see that. Consider. Something wrong with my internet. It look my phone so slow. All kinds of things on the phone. I need to change this phone now. Francis, how are you? Okay, guys. Sometimes I don't have to wait for people coming on because I know you guys. Some of you guys are just getting up. Some people are going to bed. I love to come up this time because people in Liberia watch. You know, I'm sometimes a little surprised. I see other people watch your show, but you don't see them, and they watch it through other people. Then later on, they start to inbox you. But anyway, guys, we are back again. I know I slowed down for a while, but I try my best to do it once. You know, this thing we're not getting paid for it. So whenever we have the time, we come on and give our views. Whatever I say represent me. It's my view. That's not your view. It is your right to disagree. It is my right to speak. So I respect your right and you respect mine. But what I don't like for people to do, if you don't have anything to contribute, some people love to say, you say nonsense. You're stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. So when I'm criticizing someone and you think you can defend that person, it's better for you to make a comment and be able to defend the person instead of using some sarcastic remarks. Then you and I getting, or sometimes they do it to distract people. Because I know a lot of people who got 4, 5, 6 Facebook pages and they use different names. When you want to know, just try to click on it and get the profile. The profile will show you nothing. Right there, you know they are fake. Because a lot of Liberians are cowards. And they said cowards die many times before their death. Because they are cowards, that is why they don't show their faces. For me, I don't have a different account to say I use it maybe to insult people or do something. If you want to use different account to get information, it's better than to use it and start using profanity. Especially I see people insulting. You know, I just getting so fed up not to even respond to certain people anymore because it make no sense. I saw this person called Rosen insulting Yombly, but they got a woman picture there. So I said, well, let me go through the profile. You can't get anything out of the profile. Right there, you know, it's some lay fool, one guy, maybe a rebel or somebody who know something and started insulting Yombly because for a woman to insult another woman and talking about Bezonga and whatsoever, Yombly killed her husband and whatsoever, it's shameful. But no other people do that. Only seditions. Only seditions. The only thing seditions learn for the last 12 years is disruption. They concentrated on it, but no, this is where Ellen fooled them at. Ellen gave them jobs. They were working in Ellen administration, so they could not concentrate to put a plan together. And it was last minute of time when Ellen decided to hand power over to them because she knew that they were going to fail. So it was surprising to them. She gave them the money. So they look at the money, asked for the $10 billion out of the $16 billion. We all know that. But other Liberians will not believe it. And so that is what they decided to use, and they had nothing on plan on paper. George Weah worked with Ellen. Miguel worked with Ellen. Eugene Nabo working with Ellen. Bezonga working with Ellen. The Minister of Internal Affairs with Ellen. Mary Bro working with Ellen. Every one of them almost was working with Ellen. So they were in Ellen's palm. Ellen knew exactly what they wanted. And Ellen knew that George Weah DNA is in money. He loved money so much, so it was easy. It was easy. And I'm going to say something here today, and I will call names. I will call names, and I do not care because these are the same people who today trying to play the same game that they tried to use with Robert Salif and George Weah. But Ellen being a very smart woman, she made a decision on that. So one of my witness would be Eugene Lee Nangwe. Eugene Nangwe. Eugene Nangwe is nobody's stranger to me. Eugene Nangwe comes to America. He played for the Old Timer team. And I've been knowing Eugene Nangwe from Liberia. And then he was special assistant to Joe Tate. We hang out so many times. So I know him. It's not somebody that I don't know. I respect him a lot, but when it comes to politics and it comes to jobs and other I see people and putting integrity aside because they want job, they have to lie and do a lot of stuff. Eugene Amway, in when it comes to politics, he betrayed George where we all know that. But in a sense, I would say no because they all planned what Eugene Amway did. It was a plan, but George Weah refused to follow after the thing backfired. So that is how George Weah and Eugene Amway all got stuck into the whole thing. You know, George Weah, he's a scary guy. He been when there's a fire, he back off. It's the same thing with he and what the boy named himself and Solo, George Solo, who was the former CDC Secretary General. When they met Rabbi Salif in Ivory Coast, and they planned that George Weah was not going to contest the senatorial race because Rabbi Salif wanted it. I know sometimes when I say these things, people say, "How you know?" Some people say, "Oh, you lying." But the people who usually say that I lied, these are people I never saw around George Weah before. These are people I don't know. If Karika or George Solo, who I know when I was TM, played for, no, then I was not TM. Yeah, when I was TM, George Solo and Papi Sumole brother were playing for IE. They played for IE at 96, I'm sorry, 98, yes. So, I know these people. Let somebody who closer to George Weah tell me, oh, Munel, the thing you're saying is not true. But most of the people that are speaking about George Weah, I wonder, where were they? How they know him? They know him from a distance. You know that song they say, from a distance. You see people from a distance, you don't know. Not everything that glitter is gold. Yeah. So sometimes I ask myself why I even have to know him. Because you don't treat people the way he's treating people. So we're going to talk about this coming 2020 elections. These 2020 elections will be more dangerous than 2023. 2020 elections will determine the fate of Liberia, the 2020 elections. Maybe we don't know. And I see right now only 9 person watching, but I don't have to wait for to see more people. I don't have to. I got to continue. And as time goes by, they will see it later on. So, 2020 elections. What I'm going to say here, you might agree or don't agree. Because the people believe that Liberians are very stupid. Liberians are people that we are not smart people. Majority of us are not smart. People who have the opportunity to get in government controls the show. That's how they feel. Okay. Now, this is what happened. During the elections between Robert Salif and George Weah and Samvi, and even the same, no, Darius Dillon was not there at the time. Now, some of the UP guys went to Ellen Johnson and said, listen, we can do everything that Robert Salif can win this election. Ellen called her son, Robert Salif, and said, listen, you're not going to participate in this election. Leave it. But nobody knew what Ellen was talking about. When Ellen told Robert Salif to leave the election, he said no. He decided he went independent. Now, people within the Unity Party came to Ellen and said, listen, we can give this election to Robert Salif. George Weah will just cry, and they will forget it. As much as I don't like Ellen, Ellen said no. If Eugene Namwe strong, or if Eugene Namwe is someone who truthful to himself, upon my tea, we had a game in Delaware. After the game, he didn't play that game. We decided to go somewhere else to participate, They invited us to eat and drink. He rode with me and I asked him a question. I said, so how the election? He said, oh, listen. He said, George, we are lucky. He said, because we're ready to give that election to Robert Salif, and he would just cry, cry, cry. And everybody would say, oh, George, when I cry, baby, because he lost the 2 elections, so he complaining again. But Ellen was so smart. He said, Ellen told them, I don't want any trouble in Liberia because you know, I know that my son can never win George Weah in Montserrat County. So giving the elections to Robert Salif, it will be a serious problem in this country. Maybe you think that it will just say yo, 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 yo and forget it. It will be a serious problem. So no, let the election goes on. Do not, I'm not going to put my hands in there. You go ahead. Ellen was wise enough to come up with that decision and say no. She tried to convince her son not to participate in the election, but he couldn't listen. He went independent. In that election, 127,000 people voted. How do you know 127,000 people voted? Because the last election that I went to Liberia and I was one of the campaign person, the election, they said it was 125 and George Weah election was 127. Now, according to NEC, I don't know how to get that record. So Ellen told them, I don't want no problem in this country. Get out of it. She told every one of the UP people that work with NEC, no matter what kind of money my son gave you guys, do not cheat. I'm not prepared for that because Ellen knew that it was going to be a serious problem. But these guys, the men, you see how men are most of the men are stupid. They believe that, oh, Joshua will go in the street and the CDC people will jump all in the street, and at the end of the day, ECOMOG and the on mill will slow down everything and say, listen guys, you forget it and thank you for it, and everything be over. Now, this is the same thing CDC prepared to do. You know, Akara Grace always say, take it to the bank. This is what CDC government is planning. But it will be the worst mistake. It will be the biggest mistake ever in the history of George Weah life. That they will change the results around. Liberian people will get pissed off. They will walk in the street. They will disturb. And at the end of the day, it might take a week or two and everything will slow down. And the results will stand. But that would be the biggest mistake. The biggest ever mistake. If anybody in this beautiful country we live in America, Liberians, seditious, thinking that Thomas Fowler or whosoever can win Darius Dillon in Montserrat County, you out of your mind. Because you guys are not calling Liberia. You guys are not in touch. You are out of touch. You call people who before they were seditious and people that we knew that when you talk about CDC, they tell you this. They say, my man, this election, I don't know if they can beat Darius Dillon. Even George Mane Weah, you take him out, he will never. Right now, the position of George Weah, he cannot campaign in front of different people. He campaigned to the same people. You see, the first day going election with George Weah was able to go all over because it was a level playing field. He was not president. So it's proven. How can a man in going 3 years, you got 17 districts in Montserrat County. The president only visited District 17 and he stopped to Banjo. He never visited District 8, District 9. He just passed around when he going to work. That's the only district so far. He went to Lokintown one time. He went, in fact, so even the 17th district, he never visited him. They never saw him. From Todi all the way going to District 17, nobody know Joshua never stepped his foot to tell him thank you to run around in that area. I want to see how George we are going to campaign for Thomas Fala. Joshua would never ever stand up to campaign. He will go to where only seditions are and will just talk, or they will pretend. You know, lies is a bad thing. That lies put CDC into all this mess because they concentrate, they worry about achievement. When you're in leadership, you don't worry about achievement, you worry about doing the work. When you do the work, people will realize your job. People will see it and say, oh yes, this man doing things. You don't rush to take things, all the good things, and put it under your belt, and you want to refuse the bad stuff that was there already. We all know that from 1847, Liberia been having problems. Liberia's biggest problem is leadership. We've been having criminals upon criminals upon criminals upon criminals. We've been having bunch of rogues, bunch of bad leaders. The only leader that I would consider and say, yes, he was 80%, I would put Talbot. He was around 80% because you know what? Talbot's problem was what? Nepotism. Almost 80% of the Talbot family was working in government. They were the one had license for rice. But Talbot had a very good blueprint for Liberia. He came up with something from mat to mattress. The pressure jury of President William R. Talbot was the youth. Talbot exposed the country boys, although they had the Congo names, but he pushed them and called. Talbot brought back the multi-party to start was 2 years, 4 years, 4 years, 2 terms. On the Totmo administration, we have one-party system. When Talbot came in, he brought it to the two, but only two-way party was functioning at the time. And he told his people, it is time. We should get prepared for all these things, for changes. But some of the Congo boys could not understand it, like Mike Deshie. He was the one running that country directly because he was what? The secretary, the chairman of that party. He was the one who stopped Talbot from even bringing in Jackson Doe. You know what I'm saying? So all these things. But apart from Talbot, we have President Doe who came in with a bloody hands, but was still managed to learn on the job, brought the university into the executive mansion, learned from other people because he was a military man. If you're a military man, leadership will be part of your whole thing. You see Paul Kagame from Rwanda. So all these things. Then the war came and took place. Charles Taylor became president. We had Amos Sawyer, all the interim chairman. Then we had Charles Taylor, who, because of Charles Taylor, Ellen Johnson, other people, what brought all these things? Elections. What took the war? What brought rebel business into Liberia? Elections. After the election, when those stole the election, it took 3-4 months to announce that elections. The result was a result of God, according to the former election commission. And who, in fact, he broke record. Emmon Hammer was the election commissioner on a duel, one of the worst elections. Emmon Hammer's grandfather was the election commissioner during Barclay time when what his name said, this president stole the election. 15,000 people registered, and the total amount of people that voted were 143,000. You see how bad it's in the Guinness World Book of Records when it comes to cheating. Liberia's name is in the Guinness World Book of Records. So this coming elections, you listen to me, and they are saying it. The only regret I got right now, there's a tape someone sent to me, but I can't play it because there's nothing in there. It started and then it went off, or he thought he did a recording. These guys are saying that no matter what, they can cheat, and Liberians will just will get in the street for 1 week, 2 weeks, and everything will slow down, and the result will stand. Yes, the result will stand. Everybody will go home. They will slow. The international community will come in, and everybody. But I think they're making a big mistake. They're making a big mistake. Before George, we got to be very careful before they follow him. Now, let's go to Thomas Fowler. Thomas Fowler came to prominence. He became representative from 2005. Thomas Fowler lied to the people in District 5. The only thing he did that he built a school. Why Liberians think that because I'm a government official and I build school for myself to benefit, it's a development for the people. No, that's my business. Thomas Fowler built this school and he promised the people in District 5 that this school will be like public school. It will be almost for the people. But that school, go and check it today, it's very expensive. They wear 2 uniforms in a week. They wear 2 different uniforms in a week. And Monday to Wednesday, they wear this uniform, the next day they wear. So if your father or mother cannot afford it in Liberia, you will not attend that school. He put himself, he built himself a building they call university, because I don't know how the Ministry of Education can certificate and how they gave them these credentials certificates. How the Ministry of Education determined that, oh, this place is this building, this institution that for high learning, they are university university compared to University of Liberia or Zion Community College. So how they do it? How the professors? Who are the professors? Whosoever? Or because they just put a nice building up there. So all the guys. Damn, somebody choked me. My own water. So Thomas Fowler built a very nice place, university. The Thomas Fowler, I don't know the name. I think the Thomas Fowler made the name attached to it. But I saw the building when I went to Liberia. At the time they were building it. Now he got this thing, but it's all his personal business. Apart from that, there's no other development Thomas Fowler carry on. And I don't believe in representatives or government officials using the money to develop areas. To be frank with you. To be frank with you. They are not humanitarian. They work. The money stay with them. That's what they're supposed to get paid for. If you want to do anything to be generous, fine, it's good. It's up to you. But what can Thomas Fowler show for the last three terms? What can he show in District 5 that he want to run as senator? What can he show? What can he show? Now, okay, let's play the devil advocate that Thomas Fowler wins tomorrow. Then there will be another by-elections. The government already crying for money, but they refuse for Jimama Wolokoli to contest. They refuse for Jimama Wolokoli to contest. George, we have preferred T. Fowler, Thomas Fowler. He pushed Akara Gray under the bus. Akara Gray had to resign. Little boy Koji, he was in charge. You see what going on? Today, Thomas Fowler buying motorbikes for all the district. But let me say this. You guys will spend the money. Liberian people prepare to eat the money because that's their money. That's their money. Dara's dealer is like a rice in Montserrado County. Rice is very important, like a gold dust in Liberia. We know what rice did to Liberia in 1979. In 1979, we took it the wrong way. We jumped in the street because of rice. So Dara's Dillon is just like a rice. Like a rice. Yeah. And Thomas Fowler, Dara's Dillon will beat him no matter what. You got DJ Blue. You got Alva Toba into the race. And there's another guy into the race. It may be the, do you think the four political parties, their members, will vote for Thomas Fala? Do you think member of the COP, members of the COP carries majority independents, will vote against Darius Dillon? Do you believe that? I said in the last elections, whether seditionists were pissed off and they voted for Darius Dillon, I, Keshen, don't want to believe it. Seditionists, maybe some of them never voted, but the ones who left and voted for Darius Dillon will vote for Darius Dillon again. No sedition ever, nobody can tell me to come out and say, okay, I voted for Darius Dillon because I was pissed off, so I'm going back to CDC. That's a lie. That's a big black lie. Nobody. Those that left CDC, they're gone for good. Only the die-hard seditions, they seen 25 to 28% remaining. These are the die-hard seditions. They will stay there, they will remain there. Even the people from NPP, they're not happy. Most of them have gone to different political parties. Look, let me tell you guys.
I swear you're so bad.
People that you see switching over to CDC today, and representatives or senators, because the people don't want them. But CDC don't have nobody right now to contest. CDC cannot participate. I think the only county that CDC will even be brave to participate in will be Grand Jide and maybe a Grand Cru. That is where seditions are participating. Grand Jide and Grand Cru. But CDC is not brave enough to, they don't have it to even go to Bon County, to go to Cape Mount. Now, Mr. Watson, who went as an independent before, was a former member of CDC. Now he gone back home. So he going to stay there with CDC for CDC to support him this time around. The guy from Lofa County, from Unity Party, who betrayed the Unity Party, and the people in Lofa County don't need his service anymore. Have to go back to CDC, so CDC was supporting. Now, there is nobody in CDC who can contest. So CDC is selling the party to people who the people don't want. You got Yala, Senator Yala, who came from NPP. NPP is member of the coalition. Now he want to go under the wing of NPP. So NPP and CDC, so NPP cannot primary him. You see that? So they got a big split. And you got Jimama Wolokoli, who bringing out everything. Whether you're lucky or not, Jimama Wolokoli was there from the starting of the whole CDC. Whether she worked for Ellen, she came back this way, she went that way, but she was a sedition. They say, oh, Joshua love women, Joshua is the feminist in chief and whatsoever. But look, you fire a woman because she criticized the party, because she criticized your son, Jefferson Koji. Yes, the woman just exposed everything. And let's say this, Chimama will not win that. She ain't got the strength to win Darius Dillon. But the real truth is that Jimama Wolokoli was more popular than Polito Wie. I know Polito Wie. I know her family, but she was not popular. She was not a political, she was not popular or politician of popular. She was just maybe a friend of Joshua and they brought her in. So who really knew her? The same Thomas Fala campaigned for Polito Wie in District 5. And what Darius Dillon did? Beat her in District 5. Darius Dillon, the only candidate in Liberia who contested Mossoraro County and won from District 1 to District 17. Joshua himself had never won the 17th district before. He never won the 17th district in row, even when he beat Robert Salif. Yes. But Darius Dillon even went as far as winning in George Weah District, District 6, with over 55%. Every district, Darius Dillon crossed 55%. And Darius Dillon is the only senator who stood by exactly his promises, and he going ahead. He going ahead. He's not a rich man. He's exposing her. He let us to make us to know how the government is being run, how they steal in the government, how much the senator made. He told us, he said he was going to do it. Constructive disruption. And that's what he's doing. Expose the weakness and corruption of the Senate. And that's what he's doing. The next election now, Darius Dillon know exactly what to do. He's the smartest politician so far. He's the most earnest senator in Liberia. I'm not saying perfect. I say earnest because no man is perfect. He's the number one senator with integrity. Trustworthiness. You can trust him. He can trust him. Eh? Darius Dillon had the same opportunity to work with President Weah if he wanted to. Because Weah would take anybody who wants you can sing praises up to him. When you can sing his name, he would take you, whether you caused a man yesterday and you start singing his name today, he will bring you over. That's not what CDC stood for. What happened today with some of the people who were in the trenches, people who suffered for CDC? And you guys going around dancing, you're still afraid to even criticize George Weah, afraid to criticize President Weah for his bad leadership. You cannot take leadership and start looking for achievements. Look, government is continuity, is continuing. We all knew that the road that they created from 1847 were never paved. There was certain place in Liberia there was no road at all. In fact, there was no road from River Cess to link Grand Bassa. I remember OTC opening some of the roads going to Sando. All these things were road there, but it were not paved. So if Ellen Johnson came there, Ellen Johnson herself didn't make no new road. She met the roads there, and she decided to pave some of them very late. The Chinese people were supposed to do that, and they started doing them fine. So when Joshua get there, he's supposed to pave the road. But this is what they're doing. They're taking the ones that Ellen started with and put everything under the belt. Oh, Joshua did the other one. Joshua did the other one. But the Jamaica road was paved before Joshua took over. The Somalia highway on the other side were in process, almost finished, when Joshua took over. So I'm a little confused. How they do the whole why everything they say Joshua? Eh? Joshua met all these projects going. It was already in place. So I really want to see the road that Joshua look at the forest and say, you see this forest? When we go through this forest, it's going to take us all the way to Sando, or it's going to take us, okay, we're going to take this forest here, will take us all the way into Maryland. Then we say, oh, Joshua the one that opened this new road. Just how you can say SKD Boulevard was opened by Samuel Doe. The SKD Boulevard. There were little walking place, but they opened that whole place. Just how the 12th Street Road, if any president open it right now, yes, you open it. Although they talk about it, but there's no road there. There is nothing there. So they plan to put road there. SKD, Samuel Doe plan to put road, take road from over there all the way to Battery Factory and all the way on the other side. Then you say, oh yeah, these are some of the projects. But that's your responsibility as a president. So what does George Weah do it? He don't do it. People will contest against George Weah. That is the biggest mistake you got made. George Weah could do the best for Liberia. People will stay contest. But see why we will not see the goodness that George Weah ever did. Because the bad is more than the good. George Weah paved road. There was a road in Doe community. We were going to do it. They sent a message that government project. But he went there with Sir Joseph. Okay, good. So the road was already there. He decided for government to fix it. That road was already there. All the roads were there. So they just tried to pave them. And what they started doing, from the day Joshua took over, they started with the whole road business, because I will tell you today, that's the number one thing with Liberian people. I don't know if you go into the Liberian community and you run a campaign, the first thing they tell you say, oh, our road need to be greater. Why you should tell a man who running should greater to pay for a road? If that man pay for the road, he already finished paying you. You want him to go into the Senate to steal. It's wrong, like people. We need to tell our people these things. Chicken Soup Factory Road. We greater that road. I was there. My campaign, we greater the road. When I say my campaign, I never contested election, please. My brother was contesting, and I was there. We greater that road. Oh man, that road came from all the way to Liberty Street, going all the way to Liberty Church, man. We greater that whole place. All the rocks. Today, the road is messed up. We saw Sir Joseph putting a crush rack there again. He dumping the same crush rack there, the same one he dumped in New Georgia, and never finish it. They always do when election time coming. Then they start doing all the little work to make you to feel that they're working, because they believe that Liberians are stupid people. They keep us into a place that you cannot even move. That's what they plan to. That's what they do to us. They say, oh, don't worry about these people. When election coming, we'll go right back there. We'll give them money. They need money, they need rice. Once you give them rice, they're done with you. So I don't trust Liberian voters. I don't trust them. But then again, when you look at the things that are going on, to see people in Liberia criticizing government, it gave you a hope that the people are tired. The people are tired of all the nonsense, all the promises George Weah made. I will prosecute this one. I will do this one. Ellen corrupt. Ellen this and that. George Weah is more corrupt than Ellen. I bet you someday Ellen can sit and say, wow. Wow. They get a white collar robe, but the other one here is too broad. You don't sit down, $16 billion disappear. They turn it around, they twist that whole thing. They say, oh, it started from Ellen Johnson to George Weah time. It started from Ellen to George Weah time. But when you go through the story, you understand that the last part of the money came out of George Weah. They used the money. That was the money. And I said something. You see, we will always be wrong and right. I said, nobody, this government will not prosecute Charles Sirleaf or Milton Weeks. They will not. They don't have a case. They will not. It was just a show that George Weah government was trying to show, oh, we're going to arrest this person. When you the one that received the money, how you think Sirleaf put into to print money? You think Sirleaf did it on his own? Or who authorizing? No. The president, the bank governor, and somebody aware of it. George Weah was there when they printed all this money. Yes. George Weah was a senator. So what they did, what the achievement of President Weah as a senator to say this is what this man did. George Weah never told you guys nothing. He never told Liberian people anything. And I bet you he's going to go into the next election again with no debates. He will not tell Liberian people nothing. He just jump on George Weah. The plans of George Weah is in his head. He get up today and say, oh, listen, I want to go all the way Banjo to check something quick. Let's go. So all this president know he's supposed to be like a king and everybody do the work, and that's it. I don't have a problem who George Weah appoints. It's in the Constitution that his responsibility to nominate, the Senate confirm, and some of the positions, they don't need confirmation. Some advisors and other things do not need confirmation, so you can't stop him. You can't stop him. They're just getting rich on the backs of the Liberian people every day. And Liberians seeing it. Liberians seeing it. But how can they speak out? Even the journalists are afraid to talk, because if they talk, people go after them and nobody speak out for them. You know, something surprised me. I saw Liberians demonstrating for George Floyd in Liberia. I saw Liberians demonstrating. Right in front of your eyes in Liberia, they killed little children. They raped women. They raped children, girls. They kill people. You don't demonstrate. Because the people who they killed in Liberia, look at their spirit, are weak. You see George Floyd? He got a very strong spirit. George Floyd's death, maybe some people get pissed off, is more powerful than Martin Luther King. George Floyd's spirit is so strong until the entire world demonstrated. Yeah. You see, look at the girl that was just killed. Thomas Fowler, who a representative or lawmaker during the curfew. The curfew is not for sedition. He had a party. Or party. They came from his house drunk and they killed their own partisan. What came out of it? Nothing. We ain't hear nothing yet. You never hear president, we are speaking on rapes. You never hear president, we are talking when somebody died. Then they say, oh, that government, this person got to say this. Even the gender minister can't even open her mouth. Yeah. Now, we all know there's rice shortage in Liberia. But because the government lies so much, a good that Henry Costa brought it up. When you read about these things, the government needs to be straight up with the people. Because of the country that supply us with rice, they themselves having problem. Right in America, there's certain things in America, all the farmers in America right now, it is a problem. You go to the produce market right now in America here, everything expensive. They got 50 cents extra because the farmers, because of COVID-19, they don't have people to harvest. So most of the thing messing up, other thing is spoiling. It's the same thing with where the rice coming from. But when the rice finish, it finish. You know, one of the things that they're doing, I can't understand why would you go to the retailer and tell the man to open the door and then bring the rice outside. The only thing you are trying to open the door, you got to tell him to say this. There's a way that you can do it. That's the way you can do it. You call them first and say, listen, we expect you to sell the rice that you have in your store. Okay. There's some market women, business people, who, yes, pay money to the Lebanese man or the Fula man for rice and don't take it from them. Some of them keep their rice there because they sell rice in the market. Okay, the market people bought the rice for 4,000, they sell them more. Now we only concentrate on the Fula people. Will the market women be fair enough to sell this rice to the exact price, maybe $25 or whatsoever cup? Eh? Nobody's saying that they're supposed to increase the rice. But what you do, make sure you have proof. Why if the man say, okay, the rice that in here, that's my rice, I bought it. I'm not going to sell it right now. But you tell him you're not going to increase the price either. You're not going to increase the price. Watch and see, have evidence. But pushing him to open the door when he closed the door and say, I'm not selling. You can't force him to sell. You can't force him to sell. But at the same time, he's not supposed to increase the rice price. If there was rice on the market, the Fula man will not start to increase the rice price. If there was rice, they say, oh, rice in the country. No. The little one the Fula man guy, he won't make money out of it. It's wrong. We all know that. It's stealing. It's against the law. But the truth is that there is no rice. Tell the Liberian people, listen, there's rice shortage right now on the world market. Let us understand. If you can manage cassava, please eat cassava. Please eat gari for now. If you're able to get one bag of rice, keep it to your house and take your time. I think it will be fair enough. Don't lie to the people. It's not Joshua responsibility. The government don't bring rice, but because our government try to bring rice sometimes, but the business people who's supposed to bring the rice don't have it because the people who's supposed to sell it to them, they're not ready. They don't have it too. They're having problem shipping. They don't have people to work because of the COVID-19. So they're delaying. But when you pretend that, oh, rice in the country, then you go into business places, you don't have it. Show us the rice that to the port. Show us the rice and say, yes, this is the rice we have here. But going around to a Fula man place, you mean like you got rice? We got relatives in Liberia that we send money to buy rice, and they tell us, oh no, don't buy and don't send money. Can you send the rice for us to Liberia? Eh? The people who got rice in that place are they like noble one and whatsoever. When you send it rice, they got rice to give to people. But there's no rice in Liberia. That would be fair. Nobody going to kill you. Nobody going to say, oh, but you, the president, need to come out and tell your Liberian people, be fair to the people, Mr. President. Be honest to the people and tell them, say, listen, there's no rice right now. Rice coming in, it will be on the 21st of this month, but the business people put in for the rice, but it's a delay. It's a delay. But you know, our government official to purchase all this rice. They purchase all the rice and they keep it into their houses. I bet you go to the president's house and you see bags of rice. You go to marketplace and you see rice upon rice. The only people who suffer in this thing are the common people, the market people. You know what I'm saying? Talk to the people. Say, listen, the rice is not there. We understand it will come, but we're going to make sure that nobody increase because you already purchased the rice for this amount. You cannot increase it. You got to wait when your rice finish. Then, because the business people do, they're so stupid. If you actually spend more money for that rice, you'll not be afraid to sell it for more money because when they come to you, you show them the paper. But you're closing the door because that's all they want to do. Business people are crooks. They are crooks. They are crooks. It happened in America. The guy who went online and purchased all the hand sanitizer, what happened? They told him that they went there and seized it and said, you give all the money back to charity, all kinds of things. You know what I'm saying? So if the man purchases rice for $10 and he's supposed to sell it for $12, if the rice is finished in our warehouse, he's supposed to sell his rice for $12. Nobody give a damn what the rest is. So, follow me. Say, listen, if we catch you, this is what we're going to do you. You need, why are you even going there to let him sell you the price you want? That's a waste of time. That's a waste of time. Why you won't go there and tell him, say, oh, you're going to sell the rice for $2? No. Send people there, grab this dude, selling the rice for $20 and the rest supposed to be $15. Get evidence, everything on him, and grab him and find him. You be right. But if the man close the door and say, okay, I'm not selling today, you can force him. There is no proof that he's selling. Whether somebody can come up and say, oh, because you know there's no receipt in Liberia. He said, oh, I bought rice from a place for $4,000 yesterday. The man said, no, that's not true. What you do? You don't have receipt. The man collect the money from you to get your rest. You go. They gave how the people buy. You don't ask. If some of the citizens were smart enough, you give the money, say, I need receipt. The man gave you the full receipt. You go by, you buy the rest, you say, I need receipt. You take it there, that's your evidence. But they don't have no evidence that this rice, the man do that you knocking. Okay, let's say the man say, I'm sick. You're forcing to sell. The man say, I'm sick. I'm closing down today. You can't force him to sell. You can't force nobody to sell in America here. But because our people don't know, they try to show off the thing when they go there and say, yes, you must sell the rest for this price. You're not helping. You're not helping. You're just encouraging the corruption. And it just for, and guess what happened? They go there and get the cut. They go there and get the little cut. So it's not helping at all. That's not how you're supposed to do it. You think the man forced to sell the rice? You're going all over the place. Show us the rice to the warehouse. There's no rice in Liberia. Rice will go to Liberia, but not the ship delay. We all know that. But because they lie so much, they lie on every little thing. Look, to lie is hard. The same thing that happened with the gasoline. The same thing that happened with the gasoline. It's going to happen with the rice again. Why else you lie on everything? You're lying on everything. Sometimes it's not your fault. It's not your fault. But because you lie and you don't know how to handle it, we put it on you. Sometimes it's not your fault. But because the lack of leadership, lack of wisdom, bring you down to the same old thing. Oh, there's no rice in the country. That George, you are responsible. Yeah, George, you are responsible. He's the president. No leadership. Okay, no leadership. Now, let's go. Bwezonga said he contesting against Yombly. Now, CDC, I don't know if they want to carry Bwezonga. Some people say Bwezonga going as an independent. So you see how they're going to do. Yombly going to win. Yombly will win. Liberty Party, that the base, Grand Bassa County. No CDC will win. And Boyzonga, the people don't want him. Up to now, Boyzonga haven't resigned yet. Have not resigned yet. He's smart. Because by the time he resigned, it's done. He's not getting that job again. But why he stay on the job? Why he stay on the job? They say in two years before election, if you want to contest. But there's something there, it's not in there, but that the law will say when he declared, when he had the intention to run. So yes, the man working, he just had the intention now and say, I want to run. So he must resign. So either you do it 2 years when you want to plan for it, or if you come out today and say, I'm going to contest the election, you must resign. You understand? But he's still there running around. Yala in Bon County, the same old thing. Molba Molu is embarrassed. CDC is embarrassed. They have other people there who want to contest. So all these people that show up to your doorsteps, what are you going to do? Push them aside? Are you going to push Senator Yala aside? Are you going to push the guy from Lofa County aside? Or are you going to push Watson and bring another seditions? So seditions, y'all see how you're going to suffer? You guys will suffer because you lack everything. You don't have nothing. You don't have manpower. You don't have nothing. So you're going outside to bring people in. And the poor little sedition who been fighting, who from the grassroots, some of them in Cape Mount, some of them in Lofa County, you're going to push them aside and you bringing in someone who were not even supporting you. Yeah. You see that? You're going to support him. That's your failure. That's your failure. That's your failure right there. And George Weah continue to split your party. Now the Liberian people sort of understand that George Weah is a divider in chief. He did it with the national team Lone Star and he doing it for Liberia. Even if George Weah was satisfying his seditious, now you can't satisfy everybody. But the fact is that he's not even satisfying 1/3 or even half or 1/3 of these people. He's not. He's not. He just satisfied what? 10% of the entire membership of CDC, Coalition for Democratic Change. But guess what? Within their mind, they are Congress for Democratic Change. Because Joel and these other people, they had no vision. They decided to join, to collaborate with a party and carry the same initial. So all the Congress people know that it's Congress for Democratic Change. So everybody who contesting are all permanent members of Congress for Democratic Change. So they want other people to switch over from NPP to come over to CDC because they believe that maybe NPP might want to break up one day. But we get a bunch of blind loyalists in the country who still don't know. Like my brother I see every day, Joseph Demi, I love him. Joseph Demi, I know him, good, smart young man. Yes. But these guys, their eyes are still closed, their ears are closed. Yes. Their eyes are closed. They don't have that little mind for themselves. They don't have that mind for themselves. I'd rather not speak than to speak. I'd rather stay silent and don't participate when I know I'm working. Maybe I got a civil servant job. You need not to get into politics. You cannot. But as a elected officials, you afraid to speak out. And you call them lawmakers and money makers. They don't represent you and you still vote for them. You still vote for them. Thomas Fowler enjoy the strength of CDC and continue to enjoy himself. And now the people understand you. The people know the secret. The people know who CDC is. The people know CDC is just a fake. The worst political party ever in Liberia. Yeah. Oh, George Weah is the best. George Weah is better than any president in Liberia. Are you kidding me? If you tell me George Weah is the smartest criminal than any president in Liberia, I will say you're right. Because he's the only president in Liberia in our history who built more houses in 2 years than any Liberian president. President Todman in 27 years, George, we have built more houses. But when you sit there and say, I met a friend yesterday. He said, oh, Ellen Stu. I said, I get you. The man who steal $5 and took it out of the country, the man who steal $5 and build his house in the country, they are all rogues. Rogue is rogue. No matter where you carry the money, it's in your name. Now, the only little thing is that we got government. When the government is serious, they can go after any one of them. Any one of them for prosecution. You build a good rapport, you come there and you prosecute and you extradite them. But George, we have built these houses because that was the mistake he made when he was playing soccer. He built in the 2 houses, and most of the houses in America is not in George Weah name. There's nothing in George Weah name in America. Everything is in Clyde Duncan name. George Weah name is not on it. In America, her name is Clyde Duncan. We know it as George, as Clyde Weah. In America, that's how it works. Most of the women, if you don't want to be bothered, they put everything in the name to get everything easy. It's in her name. You understand? And Duncan, Michael Duncan, who is the super gay dude, you don't know him. He's a crook. He been through a lot of stuff. He was the one heading the marketplace there for George Weah, like a jerk chicken something, or Jamaican place. I did the video for that place there. The day they opened, I was there. When they put the things, they opened it up. It lasted for only 1 year. Today, Michael Duncan, they call him the investors in Liberia. Where Michael Duncan got money from to be the investor in Liberia? In Basso County, even the officials don't know who gave them the land. Who gave them the land in Liberia? Yes, the people want development, but the land you're using, how you got it? How you got it? Maybe that the superintendent give it to them. What Yombly now saying about it? Okay? George, we are brother-in-law. George, we are brother-in-law. They call him the investors. Yeah, the investor. They call him old papi. So where is our first lady? The first lady is in America, enjoying herself, enjoying the taxpayer money, ran away from the people of Liberia because of COVID-19. Ran away, left the people that she said, oh, I'm first lady. Oh, yes, they say the first lady building this building that she on the ground. She's on the ground. When that thing started, she got on a charter flight and was out of Liberia. But she never knew that, oh, if I get it in Liberia, it will be a problem. So let me come to America. When I get here, it will be very easy. Now she's here. She can't go back home because she know when she go back home, she will have to be shaking hands. She will have to be walking around to show her little work she was doing. And people will be afraid, oh, no, we can't do that. So that's it. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So where's the first lady? Liberia, Liberia. We need to ask Joel Howard Taylor, how much was in the budget for her when she was first lady of Liberia? How much was in the Liberian budget? There's no money in the Liberian budget for first lady. The first lady is covered with the executive marshal. Anything she wants, it comes from the executive marshal. But if you put your money aside for the first lady, everything increased under George Weah, then where we going? The pro-poor president, everything for him increases. Pro-poor president. Samuel 12 building his own estate, the other person building their own, stealing the people money. Stealing Liberian people money. But you know, Liberians will get justice one day. On corruption, on killing, on a lot of things. We will get a leader. It can be next coming election, the following coming election. Maybe some of us will not be alive, and which is no problem. Because if you don't want to die, you shouldn't be born. Everybody want to die. The ones that left already, we're not better than them, but it is not our time yet. So that is why we stay alive. You understand? But some people believe that Oh, I don't care, I will die. So I will steal. They lack integrity. They don't care about the children they're leaving behind. They don't worry about the children. They think that they leave money for the children, so that's it. But they will walk around and that stigma will be on the children. And so, oh, that Maggie daughter there, that Joe, we have son over there. It will stay on them because they treat people as if they are dogs. I saw a post where Alexander Cummings went to Joka Wiyaka. You see, Liberia is the only people who went to school and still not educated. The only people who went to school, majority of them, and have no wisdom. The other guy said, what kind of football Cummings plays so much that he's trying to prove that because he anxious about this president business, so he went to Joka Wiyaka. That's a good thing. How many games that he watched in Liberia? When Alexander Cummings doing a thing, he should tell you that, oh, I'm going on the football field. I'm going on the football field. No. Eh? You want him to tell you, say, oh, I'm going to watch the football kingdom tomorrow. This man told you, say, listen, the sports that I play was soccer. And I want everybody playing Liberia. Look at his size. Look at Alex. Alex is not. You don't have to be a professional soccer player. Now, in politics is not a religion, my people. Y'all learn this thing today. In politics, that is why Commissaire felt it. Even my brother, he felt the same thing. You going out there, giving people money, doing things for people and say, oh, I don't need to talk about it. Nope. No. In the church, you give your tithe, it's between you and God. In politics, when I shake your hands, I will let the whole world know that I shook your hands. If I build you a toilet, the whole world know that I built a toilet, because that is what they will hold you on. How many person in Liberia really will take the time, go on the internet and start reading about you, what you did? No. I like my brother, though. He made some good points. And I think Cummings need to take that into consideration. He said that, listen, I haven't seen no paper, no suggestion, nothing on Liberia, what you would do, how you see where Liberia coming from, where you take Liberia from this place to another place, to put something down on paper. But even if you do that, the voters in Liberia, they don't think like you and myself in America. They don't think like that. They don't. But the people now, they want to see action. They don't want to hear what you did yesterday. George Weah was the only lucky candidate who, because the people love him, they saw themselves in George Weah, that they came from a poor background, and they believe that George Weah is like them. So they love him and they say, oh, they man try 2 times. They man play soccer. They man do this. So they love him. He used to spend his money. He used to stay with the national team. He never missed no game for the national team. He there all the time. He he making Lone Star feel good. With George Weah playing Europe, man, every Wednesday, everybody glued to the TV. George Weah at school. That was his talent. He was working. In Europe, it was George Weah and George Weah. And when you look on the trophies that George Weah won, they say George Manneh Weah war best. They never say George Manneh Weah war best or Liberia name on it. No. And when you look even on it, they will say George Manneh Weah or French citizen. That is how George Weah won the European award. The best European player was George Weah, until Michel Platini came out and said there will be no naturalized European to ever win the European best anymore, because there were other Europeans naturalized who were going to win that title. So that one will not be given to anybody. George Weah is the only man. And George Weah will be world best, the first African for a long time. I can see that. So he was a French citizen. They look at him. He was his own. It's just like you own a job and they promote you to promote. That's your business. What Cummings did to Coca-Cola, that's his own achievement. Okay, we put everything aside. George Weah went back home in 2000. Finally, retired from football. So I will start to grade George Weah from 2000. I will subtract what he did for Lone Star. He played. When you look at celebrities, they do the same thing. Eto. If you think George Weah did more for Lone Star, Eto charter flight for Cameroon. All the way to say Cameroon got money. Eto transferred the entire national team to another hotel because he said he cannot live in a hotel. He take care of people. Eto went to Libya and charter a flight and paid Libyans to release Cameroonians. Eto did it. That is how they gave back to the community. How George Weah gave back to our community. How did George Weah give back to the community? The people say, Alva Toba and a group said, George Weah or humanitarian, George Weah, UN ambassador, but they just say UN ambassador. George Weah and spent his money on the national team. He was world best, according to the other former president who George Weah disgraced. George Weah was UNICEF representative. And that position is only held by celebrities. UN use celebrities to promote the jobs. It's not a paid job. But what they do for you, they transport you. When you get there, they give you car, hotel, and whatsoever. They need you to talk. I remember when Lawrence Fishburne went to Liberia. If anybody can remember Lawrence Fishburne, he went to Liberia and was on the same job. And George Weah too went there, the same thing. They had Angelina Jolie, who went to Colombia, and went to other places. They all were working with UN, not that they were on salary. It is not a salary. It's a volunteer thing. So if they promote you and you help them to do the job, maybe to disarm or to go, they got different positions. But it was not a job to say, oh, the man work with United Nations. No, Liberian people, you can lie too much. You can lie. It was not a salary job. Whether they gave you 5 cents, it's not a salary job. But they will transport you. They will do this for you. You will get there and you help them with disarm or you help them do something else. Yes. They said Joshua was a humanitarian. Where did Joshua went before to do some humanitarian work? They said Joshua went in refugee camp. That's a lie. My life should cut today if Joshua ever went in a refugee camp and gave 5 cents or stood in front of the refugees and said, don't worry, we will go home. Never. Joshua never. And I challenge Karika, Mamadou Masekwe, Dave Jackley, Mario Hoff, Nika, the entire Gion professional team. I challenge them. Anybody who are with George Weah from his soccer days, I challenge you to tell me, to prove it, if George Weah ever stepped his foot in the refugees camp to visit the refugees. But we lie every day. Even the first day they lie because she know all the travel she ever made to Liberia, she ever stopped in a refugee camp? No. No. I challenge them. Nobody can show you a damn picture. George Weah stopped on the football field one time that when they were going to play, Ghana would beat Ghana 3-2. They came with their car from Ivory Coast and because they try to encourage more Liberians to go on the field. Yes. George Weah never went on the field. George Weah was not just a little baby. When George Weah, those days when George Weah even coming to Liberia, he got white journalists. There's a guy they call Chris who are doing a whole documentary on George Weah. I can't remember the way he had now because he told me that his last episode, his last recording was when George Weah got his degree and he was waiting for George Weah to become president to just close it up. I know he closed it, but it's not easy to get. I know he was trying to show it on ESPN and other places, but somebody need to sponsor it because I got to follow George Weah throughout. Yes, he had a whole thing on George Weah. He will bring it out one day. I'll show you. He'll bring it out. They call him Chris or white guy. Everywhere George Weah went, Chris was there. Go on Getty's picture. When you need any picture for George Weah, go on Getty's picture. You will see pictures of a George Weah playing in Ivory Coast, practicing in Ivory Coast. He practiced in Ghana on the football field. George Weah will stop at the Kings Bay Hotel. Liberians will go there. They will make some of them shame. Some of us who knew George Weah will go inside, or sometimes they try to make the scene. Oh, you move from here, this and that. So this, if George Weah did it, we'll say yes. Apart from the time they interviewed George Weah about Liberia, he playing in like he was Liberian. He said, "Oh, I call the international community," but some people say that because of George Weah and they went to Liberia, because we gave the Liberian people false information. You go to Liberia, you ask the poor, the old man into the. You saw George Weah before. He said no, but how you know? He said, I think my son said the ball that a good ball. They ball that our own country ball. Oh, this ball that what this so that how they gave the information out. Educated people. And that is the question I asked Alva and other people. What you saw in George Weah that you supported him. You knew, you believed within yourself that George Weah was going to make the difference. After 2005, 2011, when you even look at George Weah and told him that, listen, it is time he stepped aside and gave other people the chance. Alva is a smart man, don't get me wrong. Alva is qualified even to be president of Liberia. He's a smart man, and sometimes you don't blame people. You take the cow to the river, you can't force the cow to drink. I agree. But if you take the cow to the river and the cow refuses and say, I'm not going to drink the water yet, you're not just going to abandon the cow and walk out easy like that. What you do, you bring the cow back or you do something. But they all knew because they were still hoping that maybe he would change. And up to now, he changed. And that is why my sister, and I think she's the campaign person for him, and saying that Alva had resigned from CDC. It's all in the newspaper and whatsoever. But you put it in the newspaper, when I say I want to hear it from his mouth, because we saw other seditians who resigned from CDC, ran as independent, and went back to CDC. So how can the Liberian people trust you that you're not going to do the same thing? You see, criticizing the government, I agree. Politicians will not call name. He behaving like the real American politicians. He will speak on the issues. The government is bad. The government doing this. The government doing that. But when you ask him, you believe that George Weah had money to build the houses he built. Well, I can't tell. I can't say whether he stole the money or not. Hey. Okay, you believe about the $25,000, the $25 million report within yourself. It's okay. Now, you going into this election because of Dillon or because you want to make the change? What are you bringing to the table that Dillon have not brought to the table? Integrity or what? Because the people in Monserrato already have trusted, they built their trust already in Dillon. Now, let me say this to my sister and to some of the supporters. You got 4 political parties. The 4 political parties go up, come down. They're not supporting CDC because they are oppositions. The 4 political parties will not vote for any other person. Only Dillon. Alva going to take vote from CDC. DJ Blue going to take vote from CDC. Fala going to take the rest. So let's break it down again. CDC came first in Monserrato County. Unity Party came second in Monserrato County. Liberty Party came third in Monserrato County. In Monserrato County, ANC came fourth. In overall, ANC came fifth. Let me make you to understand. Y'all get it straight now. In Montserrado County, the election, the general election, CDC came first. They had 28%. No, they had 38% of the vote, but less than 38% of the vote in Montserrado County. And then Unity Party came second. All these other parties. Now, Unity Party had 28% of the vote in Montserrado. All these other people, Liberty Party got around 15%, and these guys came, they have about 6 or 8% of the vote in Montserrado County. But the overall elections, and cities, ANC came fifth, and what his name said, Prince Johnson came fourth. Nima County got voters, whether you like it or not. You just imagine it, like imagine Boaca winning Lofa County alone and came second. Lofa County alone, plus the small little one, because every county that George Weah came first, Unity Party came second. Now, if you join the 4 political parties, so this is the thing. CDC was not by themselves now. CDC were 3 other parties. 3. CDC, NPP, and LPDP. They came out with 38%. I think it was 35, not 38, 35%. That's what they came up with. I will go back onto that NEC website and check. Now, when you put the 4 parties, Unity Party, ANC, UP, and LPDP, I'm sorry, All Liberian Party, if you put the 4 parties together, can CDC win them? No. Logic. This is not rocket scientist now. It's not a rocket scientist. It's not. If you put the 4 parties together, go up, come down, none of them, either they don't vote, maybe they're not registered to vote, or some of them register in Buchanan to vote, and which they will go vote there, or some of them register somewhere else, which they will go there to vote because they already registered. Then we come to COP. COP is made up of the same political parties, but COP got more independent people than actual members of party. Like in Liberia, some people don't register. They just go after the candidate and say, oh, I'm a member of CDC. They got people in CDC who never registered, but because of George Weah, they're part of it. Now, the COP independent, do you think they will vote against Darius Dillon and vote for Fala? No. That is where President Weah should be very, very smart. Do not tamper with this election. Do not tamper with this election. This is a common sense that President Weah should sit and understand. Don't tamper with it, Mr. President. Just relax yourself. I know you're able to campaign for nobody right now because Molba Modu said it. It will be a miracle. If George Weah go out to campaign for Thomas Fala, and what a thing that two Kisi men should be senator in Montserrado County. Yeah, right. You're brave. You're ready brave. Yeah. So, oh yes, that's true. No, they can run. They can run. But George Weah can't campaign for nobody. George Weah cannot. George Weah's record is so terrible. He's so wicked. So let me go back to Alexander Cummings visiting in Chukwuemeka. That was a good thing. Whether it was politics or not, but it was good. Did George Weah visited Chukwuemeka? No. He should die first and George Weah take the government money and give it to bury him. George Weah got nothing to do with IE. George Weah, from the day he retired, once he retired, left IE when Archibald Bonner. You know sometimes what pissed me off, and I will say it on the IE place here. IE people need not to even get involved with Archibald Bernard. To even talk about Archibald Bernard about IE. I see it in the chat room. But I will talk about it. Archibald resigned from IE when IE was in need. When he sued LFA and LFA said, please get it off. They suspended IE. IE people begged Archibald. Archibald refused. And when Archibald resigned from IE, George Manawia resigned from IE as Vice President for International Affairs. And George Weah uttered it from his mouth that I will show IE a lesson. I don't suppose, oh, that because of that, it could be for that too. Yes. Yes. It could be. Because sometimes when I think about it, it pisses me off. I see people talking, oh, we talked to Archibald, we talked to the person. F you. Archibald, you're calling people then who got nothing to do with IE, who used the IE just to be senator and whatsoever. Eh? That was the same thing. George, you have not helped one IE person who died or whatsoever. So if Alexander Cummings took upon himself to go to Joga Wiaka, that's a good thing. I don't give a damn whether you say it's politics. Yes, it's politics. But at least he went there to show it that Joga Wiaka wore that jersey, the Lone Star jersey that George Weah put on. Wiaka wore it too. The youth and sport ministry should have gone to his aid. Yes. Then you're talking about, yeah, the Alex, man, yeah, yes, Alex want to be president. Bernard, you want to be president. If George Weah can be president, anybody can be president in Liberia. That's their right. You can't stop them. And sometimes I hear people talking, well, this government is so corrupt, but the opposition, they're not serious. So who are you supporting? If you have not made up your mind right now, my boy or my girl, you in different lane. You in different lane. Anybody will do better than this administration. Any Liberian, you can come from anywhere, you can do better than this administration. Yes. If anybody who say that this administration is doing good, you are selfish. You are selfish and you have not been to Liberia in a long time because you don't know, or you got relatives working there, or you getting something from there, or you expecting something. But even some good citizens know that they are messing up and they're saying it. Why you can't hear them talking? Eh? Listen to radio in Liberia. Listen to the T-Mac show. You think they pay people to call? You think they pay people to call? They reading comments. And they got people just releasing. Eh? It's not the Freedom FM that they gave people numbers to call in and the same sedition calling. Eh? You hear people who say, I supported CDC, I voted for CDC, but this time around CDC, you hear people say, yes, and we voted for the government, you will see us. The next coming election, you will hear from us. Eh? The people turn against your government. Then you want to sit there and be talking about, oh, the government doing good. The government, yeah, the development. That development the people will eat when the people die, the basic needs of your people. You can't even give it. That's the government responsibility to provide certain things. The basic necessity for the country, for the people, that the government will make sure, because your people have plenty of rice. That's your responsibility. That's your responsibility to make sure there are enough drugs in our country. That's your responsibility to make sure we get doctors. What are you paid $2, but you need to bring them in. You think paving little roads in Liberia, because Liberia are naive. The so-called educated ones are the problem in Liberia. They have educated ones. You think you get PhD and masters, that means you smart? No. You die that paper for nothing. You can't even live it with your children. They can't transfer no brain because you don't have the brains. You're going to get the paper and rush back to Liberia with no experience. No experience. We got people lying. They haven't been to Liberia in a long time. Like Michael Gilman have never been to Liberia since he came to this country yet. But he's saying things. When the last time they talk on the show about rape? When the last time your core president, we have to get on your talk show. Cummings getting on a lot of talk show. Why President we can't get on talk show? Why President we can't talk to Liberian people? Eh? Why President Where I can talk to Liberian people? Why he can't come on the CDC talk show to say, okay, let me talk to the people of Liberia? No. He has not been to work in a long time. He's sitting to his house. Why the Liberian people? 4.5 million people. Let's just say 5 million Liberians. You took $25 million to buy rice. The rice finished. And not most of them. So who are the vulnerable? Who are the people that are vulnerable that you gave the food to? One truck will come here today, disappear. Or truck come on this side, it disappear. A lot of people have not received the rest in Liberia. Lie. Say, oh, we get a business, the small business, $3 million. Who you gave money to in Liberia? Lying. This president going to international stage, lying to the lying to the people. Liberia is rich, my people. 5 million Liberians, you say you bought rice. And you can't feed them. Eh? Eh? Stealing money. Oh, we gave the people $9 million just to find out you get a $1.8 million. Everything you lie about it. Everything is a lies, 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 lies. Where is Morba Molu? Let him talk. He's so embarrassed he can't see. By this time, Morba Molu having all the press conferences. All the press conference. Because Morba Molu finished. He was not elected as chairman. He was appointed. And he stayed there. Poor Jimama Wolokolu talk about it. And she's out. And do you think that some of the sound seditious will not start thinking twice? Eh? It's shameful. It's shameful. Shameful. Now let the president come and tell us. During the election, he said when rice is expensive and the shortfall in the budget, then you will reduce the rice. So you reduce the rice price. Then people who don't have it will be able to buy the rice. Do it now. So there will be no more shortfall in the budget. Because when there's a shortfall in the budget and the rest expensive, you reduce the rest price, then the people is the wants and needs. Oh, Jesus Christ. Chief economist. The wants and needs. And once there's a shortfall in the budget and when the rest expensive, you reduce the rest price and the people who trying to make ends meet will be able to buy the rest, and then there will be no shortfall again. And yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Today, in Liberian people, what's up, Herimo? How's everything? Hello to all, guys. Thanks for watching. Yeah. The shortfall in the budget when the rest expensive, then you what's up, Hannah Hart? How's everything? Yeki, okay, Emmanuel and Nancy. Hello to all. Okay, so these are one thing. Now, no rest in the country, but they're pretending like rest there. Because if rest in the country, you're not going to Fulham Man place and knock the door. We're not saying that they should sell the rest expensive. But you need to get proof. You need to arrest them when you get the proof that they have. Like in America, you can be selling liquor in your house. Nobody just come and walk to your place, policeman, and say, oh, you selling more? Say, I'm selling. But they will send undercover cops to find out if you're actually doing business. Once they get that proof, they will come out and arrest you. That's what they do. But you knocking the people door, open it, come and sell the rest with the exact price. I don't think it's right. But because the people don't go to court. But show us the rice in the warehouse that rest in the country. Show us the rice. Show us. Because that's what the people do in Liberia. Whenever they got things and it's short on the market, they start increasing the price. The gasoline people do the same thing. We're not saying it's wrong. But when government start cracking down and sending these people to court and pay fine, then we know you guys are serious. You're not serious. You're not serious. Sending Inspector General around to open the Fuller Men's store, open the Liberty Men's store, open the Liberty Men's store and sell the rice. You're not serious at all. You're not serious for one bit. That's not how government operates. You just wait. Let the man sell the rice and you get evidence that he sold the rice for $4,000 instead of $1,800. You send that bitch to court, they find him and pay good money. Next time they will not do it. Next time they will not do it. But you get camera going around Facebook and showing people busting door, open it. If you don't open it, we'll bust the door and we'll sell the rest of the people. What kind of nonsense is that? What kind of government operates like that? When? Do you know how much is supposed to go back to that government? Government said rice is this price. They supply the rice to you, the fuller man. You, the fuller man. The rest finish in the warehouse. The fuller man know the rest finish. Because that's something they're always doing. Whenever you see rice price, they say, oh no, rice, the rice price goes up. That means the rice finish in the market. And because the person who get the rice now won't make more money because business people are crooks. If there is no law and order, that's what they do. It happened right in America. The man went and purchased all the sanitizers. He started selling it to Amazon. This and Amazon stop it. When the government got involved, what they did to him? What they did to him, they charge him. Eh? So send your people out. What? That's true. There's no rice. We got problem right now with the rice coming into the country because the people that sort of supply us, they themselves having problem. We're not growing our own food. We know that. Now, they say people selling rice $4,000. This is what we're going to do. You send undercover people out there. Get proof. Go and buy and get receipts and come back. You next thing, there's somebody say, yeah, we bought it from you. You find that man. Nobody will open their mouth. But the way you're doing it is like government has sort of get money. These are how government get money. But we give you all these ideas. Then you say, oh, opposition. This is not about opposition. This is not about opposition. This is not even rocket scientists. But because Josephine herself don't know, all Josephine there is to make money. Josephine been bribed long time with the Lebanese people. Long time. She got what she wanted and that's it. So she just doing her work the way it's supposed to be like. It's a simple thing. I was Inspector General before, Labor Ministry. I don't just go and start closing people because your work. We close businesses down because you, the Lebanese men, I don't have a work permit. So we can't tell you, say, get out of the place and leave. You can't leave your store open. Definitely, by the time we put it out, you're going to close the store. But why are you going around forcing them to open the door? Say, okay, since you don't want to sell the rice, you're not going to open the door. The door going to remain closed. Fine. Let it remain closed. And you put one of the inspector, you put your inspector there. You put your inspector. Yeah. Eh? Oh, the man get arrested. The other man get 30 bags of rice in your store. The other man get 50 bags of rice in your store. He won't sell it. Okay, fine. He don't want to sell it. That man can take the rest and put it somewhere like, but all the rest on this side, rest on this side. But just wait when that man sell the rest for $4,000. You send him to court and you let him pay good money. When you do it to 2, 3, 4, 5 person, they will never do it again. It's just like when you put people in jail for stealing. The other ministers that will be careful, but how can you put people in jail for stealing when the man who's supposed to be in charge of the country can steal? You can't do that. You can't do that. But it's sad, man. It's too sad. Oh, Heron, you see, he said he came from Labrador 1 month ago. Welcome, my brother. After 18 years, I was so disappointed with what I saw. It is a shame. Heron, I said it. There's nobody, people who went to Liberia, who left Liberia a long time, and you go back home, there's no way you can come back with a good news. You will be disappointed. Just imagine 18 years is just something, either 98, 99, and 90, I'm sorry, 2002 or 2003, something like that. And he went back, he's surprised. That's not how he left the country. That is not how he left the country. The man just saying, because he went, I thought he was staying in Liberia. I thought, welcome back and welcome, my brother. He's in Australia. I thought you were staying in Liberia because I knew that you went to Liberia and he just got back. You see, So nobody, even I know some seditionists who went to Liberia, who were supporting this government, and they went home, they came back, they changed. They went back and changed. D-Flow. D-Flow threatened Henry Costa. He would kill Henry Costa. He would do this. He insulted Alexander Cummings and this and that. But I respected him. He's a man. He apologized. When he went to Liberia and saw certain things, he said, no, no, I've been misled. And he changed his mind. You know what I'm saying? So that is how human being you got to be a free thinker. You got to think for yourself. You got to see if it's good. Hey, I don't have problem people supporting CDC. But I'm telling you today, I wish people will understand it one day. I support Alexander Cummings, but I'm not afraid of Alexander Cummings to tell him to speak my mind. Because guess what? My money to pay my bills or to pay my children's school fees or to take care of my wife or to take care of myself is not coming from his pocket. I only admire his work. I only admire him of what he did in life, and I believe that he can do the same. I admire people. I don't fall in love with you when it comes to politics. I can love you as a friend, but when it comes to public things, I don't need to love you. I don't need to love you because you go in there to serve. You're not going there to be served. You're not going there to be a boss. You are going as a leader. Leaders open doors. Bosses are dictators. You must do this. You must do that. That is how bosses do. But leaders will work together. We find ways how to make a good thing. Because it's a country. The president don't know what's happening in Maryland. The superintendent is responsible in Maryland. The president need to get. I don't know if the superintendent is briefing the president. Nothing. George, we are saying nothing for this about Liberia. Nothing. All they praying to God. Some of them, for Donald Trump to win. So by the time Donald Trump win, Liberia, okay, that means they can do their own thing. State of emergency. Liberians are sitting there. The president have violated the Constitution once more. Impose a curfew, impose a state of emergency that is not even approved by the Joint House. Did not approve it. But it gone what? 2 weeks. Now, what going to happen? He extended for 1 month. So July 21st, it's supposed to expire. What are you going to do again? This president is testing the Liberian people. He imposed a curfew, and the curfew is only for people who are not sedition. The curfew against people who are not seditions. All seditions stay in the street. They are saying that he will. What Koji said, he will organize citizen defense force to attack anybody who want to demonstrate. Oh, nobody asking that. Nobody question him. Nobody question him. But I think President Weah digging his own hole. President Weah need to be afraid of his people, not the oppositions. He should be afraid of his own people, because I see them rising up one day if he continue like this. The disgruntled ones, they already started fighting among themselves. CDC is divided. CDC is divided. You should start pretending that Jimama Wolokoli was nobody in CDC. That's a lie. All those the first group of people that was appointed by George Weah, these are the people who know CDC. Yeah, these are the people. So nobody should fool you that Jimama Wolokoli, who is she? Because George Weah says so other people agree. You go on Facebook. I say it's so embarrassing. You go on Facebook, you see 4, 5, 6 person with one page because to increase the membership. You alone get 4, 5 membership just to increase membership. Damn it. I see my sister Joganti when she gave a statement. Oh, Darius Dillon this. When Darius Dillon going to resign, Darius Dillon cannot resign. Darius Dillon will not resign from that position because it was agreed upon. Darius Dillon, it went to the House and they agreed upon to increase to extend the election to December. So if you think Darius Dillon going to leave, so the bunch of corrupt people will go, no. Darius Dillon said it on his own. But Darius Dillon listened to his people, the people that he representing. If the people was going to say, yes, we agree for Darius Dillon to resign, he will resign. But Darius Dillon is not resigning. Darius Dillon is not going to resign, my people. You stop it. If you think he's going to resign for bunch of corrupt guys then to start passing things under the table, you lying. You lying. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Yeah. It's not going to happen. When I was at that, Darius did not going nowhere. 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 Bunch of rogues that will start stealing. Yeah. Up to now, budget is not even being presented. They draft budget for the people to go through it. Yeah. They run the whole government on scam. The whole government is a bunch of criminals. They just guessing. Yeah. They guessing. They ain't doing nothing. They guessing. Yeah. But anyway, guys, I will soon leave you. Although I'm not working tomorrow. Uh, some people say, Mooney, why you come out late all the time? Yeah, sometimes I come out this time to see. I read it. Let me tell you the real truth. I would love to see a lot of people watching, but the good thing is that a lot of people watch it after I finish. You can also follow me on YouTube. Everything I do is on YouTube, and people go there and watch it too. So, which is not bad. And I will soon be switching over to the Costa show, and Costa will be coming on anytime, maybe 3 o'clock. And they will say, oh, you love Costa. Me, I like Costa. I admire him. Strong boy. And you know, he'll be celebrating his birthday too. And on my show now, we're going to change a little bit. We'll still talk about politics, but we're going to go in the community. And I will be talking about the Bucks County Old Timer Sports Association. And I will be bringing on and some officials, although it sounds funny. I'm the chairman, acting chair, but I would love to interview other people, the publicity committee, to tell you guys about the new Bucks County. They will be launching membership drive on the first week in August. It will be on the first. We'll be having a new membership. Bucks County now will be open to everyone. And you're Liberian, you're a foreigner, it will be open to everyone. And it will be male and female. The only thing, you should be at least 35 years old to be a member. And it's an outreach thing. It's Bucks County Old Timers Outreach Sports Association. Yeah, we got everything brand new, so we're encouraging people. If you're in Monroe, I'm sorry, and America, you can join us. You know, President, we are a member of the Bucks County Old Timer, and I'm still the president. I was president. I left. I became president. I left. Then I'm a chairman again. So, and Eugene Nangwe also a member of the Bucks County Old Timer, and Minister of State with all portfolio. Trokonkwi, member of Bucks County Old Timer Association. And these are all the people, these are all my friends. So just imagine, Trokonkwi is the Minister of State with all portfolio. And George Manewia is, in fact, let me show you guys a picture here where one of our member posted, and they still had that picture of Bucks County had a tournament, and President Weah, at that time he was not president. He was not even, I don't think he was a senator at that time either. So I will show you guys the picture here. So Bucks County Old Timer, we've been around for a long time, and everybody want to be part of us. We won the most trophy under my administration. Oh, I'm sorry, Interlibrary Association. And Boss Candy. Okay. So I will show you a picture here. George, we are in our jersey. Bear with me, guys. I just want to show you guys something. Okay, you look here. You see George Weah. This is George Weah right there. And talking. Okay, see him? Yeah, this is the Boss County Old Timers Sports Association. We had a tournament, and at that time I was the president. And George Weah came down. He played the entire game. He played 3 games and left. Yep. You see, this is George Manuel Weah. So you see, he have not even paid his due for a long time. When I say this, they want to laugh. You know, we got sedition in their group too now. Oh, this and that. So when Eugene Nambwe arrived, he played for us. That the one Philadelphia old timer can't stand. They say, well, everybody not coming. Yes, because they know us. We are the people. You been in, you. Yes, the only thing I love for Philadelphia old timers, they got the real old timers guys, the people who play for Barrow IE, and they there. You get like Ansu Salif from Orleans. You got Salif wanted to come to us too. Patrick Sa also came to us, and Massa in our team. We got Massa, we got Talata, and Yaya Sharif, who used to play for Freeport, my childhood friend. So we got all these people. They all play for Boss County Old Timers. So Boss County Old Timer will stay around. We're doing the things we're supposed to do, and that is we're there to help our people. Yeah. So we got a lot of different people on the team. Boss County is not a small team. Yeah. So Heron Mo, how was Liberia, my man? What disappointed you there? What went wrong? I know you're not happy at all. I know something not to. You expected to see some stuff, but I know it's not easy. Yeah. Josh Malewian. Okay, guys, I'm getting ready to close down, so I will watch the Costa show, or maybe I can even air the Costa show. So who knows? Also, some of you guys will see it. That ball can bring some news out, man. People can beg that ball for news. So when I put a hotel, bring a blank tape. They say, Ochi, and I record it. When you go listen to the tape, you hear the man say, hello, what's up? Then you ah, Jesus Christ. Liberia, I enjoy Liberians on Facebook. Oh, what? Yeah, Liberians? We are different people, man. We are different people. Yeah, we are. We are different. We are different. We are different. Yeah, here no law and order. That's the fact. People driving on the opposite lane. I know. No law and order. So what we expect? The country has just been run by a bunch of Boy Scout people who has no plan, who believe that oh, it's our time to eat, and that's it. That a time to eat. They're right. It is their time. Nobody envy them. I don't know why people think that we envy George Weah. Oh, you would never be the George Weah. In the name of Jesus, who told you guys that we're not praying? Who told you guys that God don't know us? And one thing you should know, if you think you're a Christian, God gave wicked men long life. You know why? To repent. That's all. God gave a wicked man long life. And guess what happened again? God will always give you your blessing when and still punish you for what you did. Yes. God will bless you and still punish you for what you did. If you commit crime, God will deal with you. Yeah. So that's how it works. So don't think that because George Weah is the president, so no matter what, George Weah is the best Liberian president. Yes, in your eyes, he's the best. In the eyes of others, we can count George Weah goodness. Not even I like to use it because just imagine Smith Toby of all person consider himself a journalist, went to Grand Judah and told the people, "Oh, you see the houses the president building. That's the way he want to give back to the community." Smith Toby, are you stupid to give back to the community or president carry on a project and you say he want to give back to the community that his money? Look at the Oma and all from the Douala and the Nukuta market and Oro market. That George we have built the market. All they know George we have built the market. All they know George we have built the market. That is shameful. President we have played football. He did this, he did that. He made millions of dollars. George we have never put one word in Liberia. One word. He never done. He never went in no community. Let's just check the time from Amos Sawyer time when Joshua used to come home and play football. Now one bag of rice Joshua went. The old man, I'm sorry for saying it. I want you guys to go back and listen to the interview. The old man said Joshua used to go to Oro Market 1984 and buy plenty of rice. No, Joshua even came to I in 1985. He played the 85-86 league. That time Joshua was nothing. But the old man make up a story. She said Joshua used to go to Oro. Oh, Joshua man used to sell there too. I know Joshua man. 1984, Joshua used to go. I know some people say no, Joshua said 1994. And you that will ever say that the woman thinking it was 1994, you stupid too. You stupid. You stupid. The whole story was made up. The whole story was made up. Eh? But you know, sometimes I really shame for the journalists in Liberia because they can't do nothing. They can't investigate. They don't know how to ask questions. They don't know how to say what they are just a bunch of join the list. Join the list. That's how you call them. Join the list. They don't know how to investigate because they're afraid too now. When you investigate, look at KMTV. Now, they themselves now alone are working for CDC. Yeah. They're working for CDC. It a shame. Some people, I'm saying it again, George, we are planning to steal the election. They plan to give different results for the election. They will be brave enough to do it and ready for the riot. And they believe that the riot might last for a week or two. But they will be making a big mistake. Common sense, my people. Common sense. You use your common sense, please. 3 parties had 35%. Okay, I'll give you 38% in Montserrat County. The second party came with 28%. Eh? Bromskin had 15%. Up to, I think Bromskin and Liberty Party had 18% in Montserrat County. The second party there came up with 10%. With 10%. This 38% came up with 3 political parties. 3 political parties came up with 38%. But actually it was not 38. It was less than 38. So, I'm not even talking about all Liberian party. Now, if you put the 4 parties together, you count the votes, the percentage will be more than CDC. But CDC now have lost more members since they won the election. CDC won have lost more members. Yes, they won with 61.2%. Do you think they still have 61.2%? No. Because the people who ran it up from 38 to 62%, they no more with you. They're out already. They are out. So you own your own. Now, you got Avatoba or Sedition who worked so hard for your party, who raised money, who did everything for CDC in America to be able to stand up. He's running. He's going to share vote. Jimama Wolo Colley, even if she don't vote for Darius Dillon, she might vote for Avatoba. DJ Blue got his own independent people. He got his own independent people who are going to vote for him. You think they're taking vote from Darius Dillon? No, they're not taking vote from Darius Dillon because the four political parties, nobody there would leave from there and go vote for DJ Blue or vote for anybody. So, common sense. So Darius Dillon going to win the election. The same thing we told you guys before. And just what we said, that CDC went to the same Tyler guy and redirected members into District 15. But guess what? Darius Dillon won District 15, but Taylor Ure lost District 15. And it was the concern of Molba Molu. He spoke on it. He said the National Election Commission was corrupt so much that was surprising that how can Darius Dillon win District 15 and Taylor Ure lost? He caught himself right there. He kicked himself in the toes. Oh, you don't know that? You don't know that was the thing, the logic? That was the logic. How can Darius Dillon, from a four political party, won with over 55% of the vote in District 15, but Taylor Ure lost? Tell me, the same people who went in there to vote for Darius Dillon was the same people who voted for Taylor Ure. So how can Taylor Ure lose an election and Darius Dillon won election? Because George Weah pay enough money and promise Tyler that, listen, because he said, listen, we can't cheat Darius Dillon because it's clear that the man won everywhere. We got the pink slip. So Joshua then will try it. We will get the pink slip. Darius Dillon and others, please do not leave your pink slip. Do not leave it. What they're going to do, they will employ more seditions at every polling center for poll workers. And most of them might be supervisors there. Most of them will be supervisors. I'm telling you, I'm speaking from experience. That is what NEC does. Unity Party did it. They had all the people, Ellen had all, they recruited all the Unity Party, and CDC too did the same thing. So they're going to put the people to all the polling centers. Pick up your pink slip because when you come first or second in that precinct, in that voting area, they will give you a pink slip. The other people, the third, sometimes you're lucky to get the third one, but the third, fourth, fifth, they will have to write the information down. So you must get your pink slip, Darius Dillon. Please let the poll workers stay there, wait, and get the pink slip. And get the pink slip. The good thing is that you're not going independent. So you got committed people who need to be your poll workers. You need to feed them as much as we're not paying them enough compared to Thomas Fowler, who stole enough already and going to pay his own people. You know what I'm saying? So let them open their eyes. They will try to stuff ballots in. They will try to do other stuff. They will try to do a lot of things. But there should be a message from the Liberian people. George Weah is on every ballot in our country. President Weah is on the ballot in Liberia. That is the message. President Weah, You don't give a heck. You are voting against President Weah. If you love Liberia, you are voting against President Weah. When you can look for 10 Darius Dillon, President Weah will get on track. If you can just look for 10 Darius Dillon, President Weah will change his direction for the interest of Liberia. We're not saying that President Weah should not end his term, but if President Weah will not end his term, it's on him. Because he wanted the president who do not end no project. He was playing football, he retired from the game when he noticed that the coaches were bringing him 15 minutes, 30 minutes of game time. That is how President Weah, I believe, for some reason, he might not even contest election because he looked at a leader who want to contest the next election. Because you're not doing things, even within the seditions, there are some of them are worrying. But who will represent a party if Joshua just gave up today? Joshua don't want Joel to be his VP. He don't want Joel. So he's looking for different people. He's looking for Edwin Snow. Let's talk about Edwin Snow some more. I told you guys from day one that Edwin Snow, he was not. I asked him, I said, what is Edwin Snow a member of CDC, ANC, Unity Party? I said, oh yes. But nobody know which of the party that Edwin Snow want to join. But we believe that CDC. So right now, you will say, well, since you're behind me, you'll say, I want to join, I will just join CDC. But let him go, then he will understand. He think that because he's in Bombing Hills, and because the people in Bombing Hills are not enough, and the people in Bombing Hills, sometimes they're so mean and stupid, they might end up voting for him. But there will be a message for him. There will be a message. Let this man go. Right there, he's a traitor. These are the kind of people we can, they're only concerned about themselves. You need to remove these people, please. If you want for Liberia, look, the president got a lot of power. But for the president to get on, to be checked, and for the president to understand that his office is powerful and the Senates are powerful, is to get people who will stand up to this president. No senators can call for the president resignation. They can't put nothing in. It got to come from the House. But this president have lost it. This president, he done. Yeah. So that's it right there. Joshua is on the ballot. We're waiting to see how Joshua going to run campaign. You think he's going to run campaign? Joshua will go into the area where they know he have plenty of sedition to talk. Joshua can't go certain places, no matter what. He can't. Cannot. He will not. He will get the balls to reach there. No way. No way. I wish President Reagan can change his ways. Listen to people. Listen to all the advices. Talk to the Liberian people and see what's going on. Talk to them. Go on the talk show with Yaya Sharif. Go on the talk show with Gilman. When will you? When? Donald Trump, as stupid Donald Trump is, Donald Trump having a press conference all the time to brief the American people. Even if he will lie, he briefed the American people. When will George Weah brief the Liberian people on the day-to-day affairs of the country? That things going on. Rice business, rice is hard, shortage of rice. Yeah. Why? That is shameful. We don't know, man. We don't know. Oh, everything okay. George, we are doing good. The best president so far. Oh, United Nations say they want you, Joe. We are some. Oh, yeah, COVID-19. So what? Is that what we worry about? Our country is dying, going down, about to have a cardiac arrest. And I don't know, man. I don't know. Sometimes it's just frustrating. It's just frustrating. You guys have a good day, good night. Have a good day, good morning. And I love you guys. You take it easy. Have a nice time. Welcome back, and Henry. Bye for now.